So what does winning look like to you? So I would write that down. Be clear on that as you're heading into the year ahead. Be clear on that and have down specifically what winning looks like, because all too often as entrepreneurs, we work our butts off and we do a bunch of amazing things. We grow our businesses. We grow more revenue than we'd ever had and impact more people than we'd ever had. But then we become unhappy because we didn't hit this goal, or we didn't even write down a goal. And so you never can feel like you reached that finish line. What's up, y'all? Guys and gals, I'm driving down to a ping pong tournament today. I'll tell you why I'm doing this for an annual ping pong tournament here in a bit. But what I'm going to dive into in this Trevor Truck Talk is strategy. And this is a topic I've been really, really heavily soaking into, thinking a lot about. And if you have been looking at the year ahead, if you've been looking at your goals and you're wondering, do I have the right strategy to actually accomplish that? Do I know the right steps? Am I doing the right things? Are these things actually going to help me get momentum? And which things are the right things, right? I'm going to talk about my one single sentence that's the best definition of strategy I've ever seen, and how I use this sentence every single day in my business right now. And you can use it as a solo operator or a big team of 60 plus employees in your own business to be able to nail your strategy better, analyze whether it's the right strategy, and make sure you're on the right path. So before we dive into that though, probably about 5 years ago here in the Carrot offices, we have a ping pong table. And I'm like, I've talked on the podcast before about kind of I wouldn't say it's my personal mission, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's definitely something that I love, and this fires me up, is to create and to connect. I did a podcast episode on that topic. Go look it up, to create and connect. And I want to create amazing things in the world that add value to people, that really help people have better lives and shine that light. But also I want to connect with people. And anytime I'm the happiest, anytime I'm in the most momentum, it's when I'm creating things, not consuming. And it's when I'm connecting with people, not just sitting there, by myself. Now, I'm not an extrovert. So that's kind of the funny thing. If you were to come to Carrot Camp or see me at an event, of course, I probably look like an extrovert because I'm very, very comfortable in front of a room of 100 or 12 or 1,000 people. I can do that. I get energy from it. But what I don't get energy from is if I go into a room where it's an event and it's not like where I have value, where I feel like I have the right value to add to the room. I'd rather be the guy like having a one-on-one conversation in a corner with one person, right? And so I'm actually an introvert that has to be extroverted for my job. And actually I'm extroverted enough for my job, but for my impact. And I get a lot of energy when I'm doing that for my impact. I don't get energy when I'm in like a social setting and it's just a bunch of people I don't know. So that's something I want to work on myself. But anyway, so one of the ways that I chose to connect 5 years ago was, let's start a ping pong tournament. So we would invite a bunch of people from around town, mostly entrepreneurs or people in the business world. We'd have our kegerator, we'd have pizza from across the street, and we would have a tournament. And we made it really fun. It's the name of the tournament changes every year. I think now it's something like the International Regional Departmental Southern Oregon Championship of Ping Pong, or I don't know, something like that. But anyway, this year we're actually doing it in Grants Pass. So there's an entrepreneur. If you guys are rental property owners and you guys need great rental property software, a good friend of mine, Nathan, owns a company called Rentec Direct. It's a software company for property management. He lives about an hour away from me, and he's the guy. Him and his wife Casey come up, and they're the ones that we do the ping pong tournament with. Them from Grants Pass and a bunch of local people. So this year I said, let's reignite this thing after COVID. And so I'm driving down to Grants Pass. We decided to do it down there since we've never done it down there. And I'm going to get my butt whipped in ping pong because I'm terrible. But I'm connecting with people and I can create a better relationship. So that's where I'm going. We'll report back to you how I did. But let's talk about strategy now. So the biggest challenge I've had as a CEO of a company, that passed $10 million a year in revenue a couple years ago. And I talk about this at Carrot Camp deeply, that things break at 3s and 10s in revenue. So 100,000, 300,000, a million, 3 million, 10 million, 30 million, 100 million, and so on. And the things that break are different things at each level. So if you're at 100,000, you have to do something different to get to 300,000 than what you have to do from a million to 3 million versus what you have to do from 3 to 10 versus what you have to do from 10 and over. And 10 and over is really about strategy. Now, not that you don't need strategy early on, you do. Strategy is core, even if you're a one-person show and you're doing 40 grand a year right now. Strategy is important. The challenge is, how do you scale strategy when you have a bigger team so the whole team understands and is clear on the strategy? And that's the challenge that we're tackling right now. But this one sentence I'm going to read to you that's really, really relevant, no matter what size of business you are, is this definition of strategy. Because as we were really diving in, there was different definitions from different people on our team of what strategy was. I would think strategy was this one thing. They would think it was this other thing. And so we wouldn't have clarity on what strategy was. Or sometimes we wouldn't even have definition on the strategy as we were building our team. In the early days, I always knew what the strategy was because it was me, right? I'd sit down and I'd say, here's our goals and here's the 4 things we're going to do to get there. And here's kind of the roadmap over the course of the year, because here's the things that we're going to do that when you stack these things up and integrate them together, it's going to help us reach our goals and build the business we want. And it was easy because it was me, and it was me and my co-founder. And we would just be basically doing 80% of the big projects, and then the team would be doing support and things like that. As we started to hire people and other people are driving projects and you have other leaders, that's where it gets tricky. So I want you guys to write this sentence down, lock this in. Keep this forever on your entrepreneurial journey. And I got this from my VP of Ops, Alex, who we've had on the podcast, and he got it from another guy. So the definition of strategy is an integrated, bold that word integrated. It's an integrated set of choices, bold the word choices, integrated set of choices that position, bold the word position. So an integrated set of choices that position you to win. Okay, bold the word win. So we have 4 bolded words there. An integrated set of choices that position you to win. And as I was looking at that, I was going, okay, this is a pretty powerful sentence. But I started looking at it and said, well, what helps for me is not just seeing a sentence or understanding, okay, that makes sense. Like, we need to have an integrated set of things that we do, set of choices that then help us to, position ourselves in a way that's going to help us hit our goals and win, right? So it makes sense to me. But then I ask, well, how do I actually apply this? How do I apply this in my life? How do I apply this in my business? And I recognize that if you look at it backwards, that's where the real power comes in. So first you have to say, well, let's first define what winning looks like, right? And so that's the first part of strategy, is saying, well, what does winning look like? What are the goals? What is the end state that we're going after? Why are we doing this thing, right? And so that could be your mission, your vision, your values, and then maybe a set of goals. So what does winning look like to you? So I would write that down. Be clear on that as you're heading into the year ahead. Be clear on that and have down specifically what winning looks like, because all too often as entrepreneurs, we work our butts off and we do a bunch of amazing things. We grow our businesses. We grow more revenue than we'd ever had and impact more people than we'd ever had. But then we become unhappy because we didn't hit this goal, or we didn't even write down a goal. And so you never can feel like you reached that finish line. You're just always on this perpetual marathon that never has a finish line, and you're never good enough at that point because you're chasing something that you'll never catch. So write down a goal, a specific goal, a goal that's big enough to motivate you and excite you, but not big enough to where you don't really have a decent chance of hitting it. Okay, so it should be big enough to excite you, motivate you, scare you a little bit, but it should be within reach to where it's a real possibility. So mark down your wins. After you're clear on your wins, then you ask yourself, well, how do we need to position our company in the market in order to reach those goals, in order to have that win? And this is the part, guys, that most real estate investors and agents completely do terrible at. And I'm going to call you guys out on this, okay? This is where most people in real estate are brutal. And this is your biggest opportunity. Most people skip completely over the positioning part. They mark down goals, and then they go straight to the choices part, and they say, hey, cool, look, here's the things I'm going to do. And then they might do some of the integrated part. And I'll talk about all four parts of this in this Trevor Truck Talk. But most of you skip over the positioning part, because what we do is we essentially think that, being an agent or being an investor is kind of like having a franchise. If I'm going to get a McDonald's franchise, all I have to do as a McDonald's franchise is put the money in. I've got to hire people. I've got to manage people. And I've got to make sure that we're following a process of something that is already existing and proven. Okay, McDonald's has done the work to create all of the positioning for their product. Okay, McDonald's corporate is the one who's creating all the positioning. They're the ones who are determining the product line. They're the ones who are determining how does McDonald's product line and pricing and brand fit in with all the others in the market. We're gonna make that determination for you, and then we push that down to the franchisees. So the franchisees, or let's say a multi-level marketing deal, right? Multi-level marketing, guys, you just have to sell. You have to build relationships. You have to build, deliver the product. You have to do an amazing job building a community of people. But you're not the person creating the product. You're not the person creating the message. You're not the person creating the positioning. And so I think real estate investors and agents are caught in this trap as well. The problem is, guys, that you have your own business. Unless you're literally locked into a franchise, you have your own business, and it's your responsibility to create the positioning. And most investors' positioning, let's start with wholesalers and flippers, okay? Most flippers and wholesalers who are doing direct-to-seller marketing, most of your positioning is, I can buy your house quickly for cash, and I can solve your problems, right? Like, that's your positioning for the most part. Guys, that's the same positioning as every other wholesaler or flipper in your market. So that's not positioning. That's having a product and having features in your product and benefits of the product, but that's not positioning. Positioning is really asking ourselves, just like the word says, what position is my business in the market? What position does the prospect put my business compared to other businesses in the market? Okay, am I like Walmart, their positioning is the low-cost leader. You can find most everything you need and you get the best prices. So you walk into Walmart and you're gonna see a lot of prices that are priced with an 8 at the end of them or a 7 at the end of them. Why is that? Because prices marked with an 8 or 7, according to psychology, have proven to elicit in our minds that we're getting a discount, that we're getting a good deal, okay? Prices that end in a 0, so literally just a round number, are prices that are premium prices, okay? So if you go in and you're gonna buy a Ferrari or a big fancy car, Lamborghini, you're probably not gonna see it priced at $249,998, right? You're probably not going to see it priced at that. You're going to see it priced at $250,000. It's just going to be a round price, okay? Because it's a premium price. So you have to do everything in your. You have to make the choices to position your product well. So as an investor and agent, how are you positioned? Are you the person who's positioned as the local expert? And because we're a local expert, we can offer you more money because we know the market better. And so we're actually positioned as the person who's going to offer you the most money. We're the person who's the premium offering. We're the person who's going to offer you the most money because we know the market better than anyone else. And we know the nuances of the ways that we can actually gain more value for you and for our business. Or is your positioning, we're going to be the fastest. We're not going to be the highest price, but we are going to be the fastest in the market, where you can buy houses in 24 hours or less. If we meet with you today, we can close on the house tomorrow at 5 o'clock, by 5 o'clock. Is that your positioning? If so, that's something that's going to stand out for some people. Okay, Open Door and OfferPad, their positioning is basically, hey, we're going to give you a fully transparent price, which they're actually getting in trouble right now with I think it's the FTC, for deceptive marketing on not being transparent with their pricing, even though that's what their positioning is. But their positioning is, we're going to give you a fully transparent offer where you can tell how much, how we actually bought the house from you, or what the price is going to be, how we came to it. And their positioning is that you can get the whole thing done easy online. You can get your offer online, you can accept it online, and we're going to send someone over, and it's all really easy, and you don't have to deal with anything. Because that's their positioning: trusted, online, fast, and very transparent. That's their positioning. Okay, so another positioning that you can be as an investor is, we're going to be the most transparent and most honest, and we're going to walk you through every single detail. So you have to bring this positioning, whatever your positioning is, guys, you have to bring it into your website. Okay, it should be clear on your website what your positioning is. Immediately when people land there, whatever your positioning is should be clear, and it probably shouldn't just be, you get a cash offer. Now that does work, once again. So I'm not going to say, guys, that doesn't work. It does work, because when you're positioning, when a wholesaler or flipper is putting that message out there, they're inherently positioning against the agents, right? So they're very, very clearly saying, hey, our positioning against the traditional real estate world is to get a cash offer that's fair, and close very, very quickly. That's our positioning. Because the agent's positioning should be, we're here to get the most money in your pocket. Might take a little bit. And we've probably got to have some people go through your house and stuff, but we can help you get the most money in your pocket. That's the agent's positioning against investors, right? But what I want to challenge you guys on, I'm not going to do a whole workshop of positioning on this call. I think I did one about a year ago. Hey team, look it up. See if I'm very confident I actually did one on positioning about a year ago. But we'll see if we can't find that one, link it up. But positioning is critical, because if you don't know what position you are seeing an opportunity for in your market, whether it's your local market or whatever, then you're going to become one of everyone else, and it's going to be harder to grow as competition, grows in your market, or as the market gets harder, it's going to be harder to grow. Because then at that point, the main reason someone would choose to work with you, if your positioning is the same as every other wholesaler, get a cash offer, close quickly. The reason someone would choose to work with you then is because of your online credibility, right? Because of your credibility online, and of course the way you actually physically show up to them personally. Do they like you? Do they resonate with you? Did the way that you talked with them really build trust and credibility? So those are the two reasons someone would work with you, if your positioning is the same as everyone else. Now guys, here's why positioning is so critical. Because if you nail your positioning, even if the person likes somebody else, they actually like your competitor better. And even if your competitor had a few more testimonials on that website and a little bit more credibility, if your positioning is strong, you will still win the deal, because they're clearly stacking you up and saying, oh, but the thing that they're offering is a little different, and I actually want this thing that they offer better than that thing that this other investor, this other agent offers. Okay. If you're an agent, guys, your positioning could be, we know this neighborhood better than anyone else. And you show the data and the stats about how you've done that. Your positioning could be that I've been here the longest, I have the most experience. Your positioning could be that I have the best marketing, and I can show some data and stats on my website when I'm talking with people about the fact that I sell my houses faster, by 30% faster and 30% more price than any other agent in the market, backed by data. Whatever your positioning is, make sure it's very, very clear to your client when they talk with you and when it's on the website. Okay, so we identified what winning looks like. Now we identified our position in the market. Okay, next we need to say, what are the choices we need to make in our strategy in order to make that position a reality so we can win? So with Carrot, we're diving in to do this right now, and I dove in with the marketing team. We completely are redoing our sales site, and so I would encourage you, go look at our Carrot sales site, and you're probably going to see a test going, maybe, I'm not sure. We do lots of split testing, but our current sales site kind of lost its way. As I pulled away from the marketing team a little bit more, and just honestly didn't delegate that skill set as well as I should have, and didn't hire someone with a better skill set than I in that area, our homepage kind of became a little bit of a Frankenstein, and our positioning lost its way. So we still bring in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients a month, but it's hard when you go on there to see what our positioning is. So people are pretty much trusting the fact that they hear other people talk about it, and that they can see Carrot sites ranked all over Google, and it converts really well. So we're updating our positioning on our sales site to actually reflect our actual positioning. So that's why it's so critical on your website, so you understand your positioning, and then your website illustrates your positioning well. But then we have to say, well, what are the choices we're going to make, right? So if we're positioning as Carrot to have the highest performing websites in the market, then we have to make choices in our product and choices in the way that we structure our business that reinforces that. Who am I going to hire to ensure that we have the highest converting websites, the fastest loading websites, and the best ranking websites? What features do we need to build to ensure that we have those things being true? What content should we put out to show people, and what tests should we do to show people that this is true? And so there's a lot of choices that we have to make, which a choice means you're saying that you are going to do something, but just as equally, if not more, a choice means you're not going to do something. And so what choices do you have to make in your business in order to reinforce that positioning and move towards those goals? So once again, if your positioning is that we are the fastest, or if your positioning is that we can make the best offers, the highest offers, then what do you need to do this quarter, this next quarter, in order to ensure that you're able to make the highest offers? Is there extra research or data you guys need to start gathering so you can be more confident in your offers? Now that's a proprietary process that you have in your business to ensure that your offers are strong, but also they're confident? Is there training that has to be done with your acquisitions managers so they make really, really good offers and they're not making offers too low that aren't reinforcing your positioning because they're not confident in their data? If you're a real estate agent and your positioning is that we can sell faster, then number one, dig up the data to prove it. But if you aren't selling faster, then ask yourself, well, what projects do I need to do, or what choices do we need to make this next quarter or two in order to test some things to sell our clients' properties faster or for higher prices? So you might test a new marketing methodology. You might test, some different email copy. You might test. You might say, I need to go learn or hire someone who's done this, or whatever it is. So what choices are you making to reinforce that positioning? And then the last part, guys, is the integrated word. Okay, is we have to then integrate those choices. I'll tell you a little story. One flaw that I had this past couple of years I've learned from as we grew our team from, let's say, 30 to 64, 65 people, including the Investor Fuse crew. So we purchased a company called Investor Fuse in January, and that came with about 10 full-time employees. But as we grew from about 30 to 60 plus employees, what happened was, because it wasn't very clear to the whole team how they could actually execute the positioning of Carrot well. The positioning I felt was clear, but could have been communicated better and more often. And we could have had processes that were baked in and the right people, the right employees in the right spots to execute our positioning well. That's where I became a bottleneck. And I've been doing so much work this past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, creating process, training, hiring the right people to remove myself as that bottleneck. But then we have to ask ourselves, are these choices integrated? And so as I hired a bunch of people and we had leaders and the positioning maybe wasn't as clear to them, those choices became a lot less integrated. So this team or this person was doing what they thought was best, but it wasn't really fully integrated with the work that these other people across the company were doing. So we end up doing work in different parts of the company that wasn't really fully integrated. They should have worked together on that thing and made it Carrot's best version versus this team's best version and this team's best version. And so when we look at integrated choices, I'll kind of give some examples for agents and investors again, is if your positioning is that you're going to make the best offers, the highest price offers, and let's say you're going to close the fastest, that's your positioning, and you've got some things. There's one employee that says, hey man, it'd be really cool if we had like this data that could help us, that could help give us this stronger insight into the market so we can make these offers more confident, right? And then let's say you have your marketing person who's kind of disconnected from the acquisitions team, let's say, right? And so you have your marketing person, you have your acquisitions team. The acquisitions person saying, let's get this data so we can make sure that we're giving more confident offers. Your marketing person is going, hey, we're wanting to really drive some better marketing. We're wanting to get our sales site updated and things like that. And they're like, cool, I'm just going to go ahead and get the sales site updated, right? What would oftentimes happen is those efforts would happen in two complete different silos. Your marketing person is going to go and do their work, and your salesperson or acquisitions person is going to go do that other work to find the data so they can make their offers better. But what I would challenge you to do is, well, how do you make that an integrated choice to reinforce your positioning? How do we make that an integrated choice to reinforce that positioning so you can win? Well, the integrated choice is, hey marketer, why don't you get together with the acquisitions person, because I've noticed they're going and doing this project to be able to gather this new data. And this new data is going to give us more confidence in the ways that we're making our offers. And it's actually going to enable us to make even stronger offers, higher offers, close even faster, which is going to give us this edge in the market. And they already went out there and tested this a little bit, and they've got some data, and we're finding it's working pretty good, that we're winning more deals now because we're able to make a little bit higher offer and win out than the other people, and we're still making great money on this. Why don't you, Mr. and Mrs. Marketer, go talk to that acquisitions person and gather some data from them on something, on what percentage of offers are they winning, how are those offers standing out, how much higher are those offers than others? Hey, acquisitions person, who are these clients? Can I reach out to them and work with you to get a testimonial process created so we can start to gather testimonials from those clients to see how much more our offers are than other people's? And now you created an integrated effort, because now this acquisitions person recognizes and goes, okay, I understand our positioning is we make higher offers and we close more quickly. So therefore, I need to work with the marketing team so we can predictively get amazing testimonials coming out of this. And those testimonials ideally should focus on that positioning. I should ask them some questions and say, hey, were you working with other wholesalers, or were you working with other people? Did they make you offers? Why did you end up choosing us? And if they say your offer was better, amazing. I'm going to see if I can't get that as a testimonial. I'm going to hand that over to the marketing team so they can put that in our Facebook ads, so they can put that on our sales website. So then they can give us some collateral that we can use when we're walking into those houses. Guys, that's a fully integrated choice. And that's something that here at Carrot, we weren't doing very well the last 2 years. The first 5 years, we were doing amazingly well because those choices were made by one or two people. And it was easy to have those integrated. But as you build a team, it's very important that people understand how we need to work together more and not separately. We need to work in integrated ways. I had 4 integrated conversations yesterday. One of them was our affiliate team, who's amazing. They've been working in a silo. And we sat down and we said, okay, well, what are the best ways to grow our affiliate partners at Carrot? People who are wanting to refer Carrot to people and earn income along the way. If you want to become an affiliate, guys, go to carrot.com/affiliate. We pay out, I think it's 20 or 25% recurring revenue on all referrals you pass our way. Guys, go over there. We have people earning thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars per month just in recurring income from their referrals with us. But we were talking and I said, well, let's look at the data and who are our most successful affiliate partners right now? And it's people like Max Maxwell, who's a customer of ours. It's people like Chris Chico, who's a customer of ours. It's people that are customers. And a lot of them are people who aren't the big influencers like Max. It's people who are just like you, who are our customers, who became an affiliate, and now they just tell a lot of people about us on Facebook and stuff like that. Okay, and so they're like, well, I'm not sure. And I said, well, one thing I've noticed is they're all customers. And so I said, okay, so right now we're working on this project across the company that is elevating our customer journey. That's one customer journey rules all, where everyone knows what specific exact journey our clients go on to have success. And at the end of that customer journey document, guys, it literally says we want to create our customers into promoters. And so I said, Caleb, that's awesome. So if our most successful affiliates are our customers, and we're running this effort over here, that's our customer journey effort, could we integrate these two together? How do we make our product, how do we make our email sequences for our customers, how do we make that turn people into our best affiliates? So it's a fully integrated flywheel that creates one integrated solution, one integrated strategy that positions our company to win. All right, light bulb went off and now they're going to start to plug that in. So guys, I'm going to wrap this up. This is probably one of my longer Trevor Truck Talks. And I've actually got to wrap it up because I can't text message a 30-minute voice note from my iPhone to Brady on my content team. So I'm going to wrap it up before 30 minutes hits. But guys, the definition of strategy is a integrated set of choices that positions you to win. Bold integrated, bold choices, bold position, bold win. It's an integrated set of choices that positions you to win. Start with the winning, define that. Then define your positioning. Positioning is key. Positioning is what's going to help people win throughout this market cycle where it's going to get a little more challenging for some people. It's the positioning that's going to help you do that. And then you make the choices in your business that strengthens your positioning. And then you make sure those choices are integrated. You don't have a bunch of people running around like with chickens, like with their heads cut off, doing their own projects on themselves. Have the projects be integrated together. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap it here. Hopefully you got some value from that. I keep on getting amazing messages from our customers after these podcasts on Instagram, on Facebook Messenger, in reviews. And guys, those pump me up. Those pump me up big time. So hit me with an IG DM, trevor.mauch, that's M-A-U-C-H. Let me know if you got some value out of this podcast or any other podcast episodes. Hit me up on Facebook, let me know. Or even better, go to Apple Podcasts if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts and give a rating and review for the podcast. The more people that give ratings and reviews, the more our rating increases, the more people are exposed to the podcast, and the more people we can help build businesses of freedom and impact. So y'all, love you guys. Have an amazing rest of the week. Light someone up. Get clear on your strategy. Get clear on your strategy heading into this new year, this new quarter, whatever you're closest to. And guys, check out Carrot Camp. I dive into these things deeply. I'm going to dive into this insanely deeply at the next Carrot Camp. That's carrotcamp.com, carrotcamp.com. And also we have a program called the Authority Leader. And the Authority Leader is our highest touch program It's about $1,000 a month. Reach out to our support team and sales team. They can connect with you on it. We do some of the work for you. You have a dedicated account rep. And we're going to start to build in me in the program once a month with all the authority leaders, talking about topics like this in deep, deep ways, workshopping with the clients live on calls. It's going to be the only touch point to have direct access to me outside of Carrot Camp on a monthly basis. And I'm pumped, guys. I'm going to be helping you guys grow your businesses through these the challenging economy ahead. It's going to be one of the best times to invest in real estate this next 3 to 5 years than you've seen in the last decade, last 2 decades potentially. And but it's going to require changes from you. It's going to require changes from you in your business to be more tight and be more efficient. And join us, guys. Check it out. An amazing, amazing rest of the week.